something in the background.
You could play something in the background, and then I'll play his record in the background. Really?
Yeah.
Yes, and we are back. We are back. This is the Appreciation and Praise Show here on this beautiful, beautiful South Florida sunny day. And we do have our special guest on the line. His name is AVARAN. Let me give you a brief description of this young man. He has graced the stages with the greats of Barrington Levy to Burning Spear to Lucky Dubé to man, Cableton, Richie Spice, Boudreaux. He's worked with countless of artists throughout his time, and his name is AVARAN. He is a international recording artist that hails from the country of Bahamas, and he was in Freeport at the time of the Hurricane Dorian, and we're going to talk about his times there. He went through 7 or 8 days without anything in an area where people were calling a war zone, and then had to stand in line for 7.5 hours to get on a barge, not a celebrity cruise line like the news is showing, on a barge. That's the large ship that carries containers. 7 hours in line and then 10 hours to travel. So, like to welcome to the show, AVARAN, my friend, brethren. How you doing this morning?
Greetings. I am good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Because actually, you were supposed to be in Miami, and we're supposed to be working in the studio right now and getting ready for some shows that were scheduled, but due to the hurricane, this is what we're doing now. But yes, please talk to us about what happened and how was it going through the hurricane. Because when I spoke to you, I was actually in Atlanta, I believe, traveling back, and I couldn't actually get back to Miami at the time. But how are you doing? How's your family doing? How is everything going?
Well, fortunately for me, my family is doing very, very well. I was able to, with the help of my brother, was able to get my parents off to go to Florida a few days after the storm. But due to the policies of the United States, I was unable to travel because I do not hold a valid U.S. visa at this moment.
Okay.
That's basically it right now. You know, this storm was like none other. It was like, I mean, I can't even describe this particular storm. It's like the home that we were in. That home has been there for like over 35 years, and I have never ever seen the amount of water coming towards the house in the 35 years that house has been there.
Wow.
Homes down from us, they were like, by the time we left, they were like waist deep in water. So we were able to leave our home. We were actually aware of the water coming down is because one of our shutters actually came off of the window. So I guess that was the Almighty saying, hey, go look out the window, fix the shutter and see what's coming down the road, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So That's basically what happened, and that made us aware of what to get out.
Incredible, incredible. So, I remember you saying that the hurricane was just sitting over you. What was that like at the time? Because I remember going through Hurricane Andrew here, and it was something serious. But what was it like on the island going through that? Being at, it was close to 24 hours that it was sitting over you.
Yeah, I mean, it was way more than 24 hours. And, it's like the first night or the first day, there was actually no rain. There was only a lot of wind. So I guess this wind was pushing the seawater onto land and causing the floods.
Okay.
Now the second day was actually when most of the rain came down.
Wow. Wow. And still at that time, what was it like afterwards?
Well, after the storm, I mean, you could see pure devastation everywhere. I mean, places that you would never think would be flooded, got flooded. Like I mentioned, the home that we were in, we never saw water coming that way. And I mean.
And what area? What area was that for those of us that?
This is Lucaya.
Oh,
an area
what?
called Lucaya.
Oh man.
Yeah, a lot of people lost a lot of things.
That's near the Sheridan. For those of you that don't know, that's where the Sheridan Resort is, and a lot of people's homes away from home. You have a lot of people from Canada. You have a lot of people from different parts of the world that come there to have home shares there. A lot of wow.
And there's an area called Over the Bridge.
Right.
Now, these homes over the bridge, they're basically more wealthy people live over the bridge, 2-story homes and all that, living on the canal. And those houses, the water back there was like 20 feet. People were on their second floor, and the water was coming up to the second floor.
And so, that was the area near, I forgot where the dude that has a timeshare there, he has a little beach property. That's where we did the Mixed Power Summit. I don't know if you remember the Mixed Power Summit concert.
I think so.
That was around there. So that area over there is devastated as well?
Yes. Like basically more of the northern side and the eastern side of the island got flooded. Totally flooded.
Okay. So after coming out, that means that there was water everywhere. What were the first things that you did after the storm?
After the storm, the storm wasn't completely over yet, but we were getting the tail end. So my brother and I, we tried to make it to the house to see if we had any real damage, and we had to take about 4 or 5 different routes. We went the first route, we couldn't get through there because it was flooded. We had to turn around, go another route, go another route, go another route. So we finally decided to go a track road. This is a road that has no pavement on it. Okay. So we put on water boots. We parked a little ways off, and we had about a 5 or 10 minute walk to the house. And we had to walk through water that was about almost waist deep. And as we got to the house, water was still in the yard. And I mean, water was based because in Freeport, water subsides pretty quick. So water was still in the yard. And when we got inside, we saw that the house had about 1.5 foot of water in the house. worst was the toilets. The toilets in the house backed up. So we had toilet water from the cesspit all over the house, you know. So
incredible.
That made it even worse, yeah.
So was that happening throughout the island, that everyone was inundated with all this stuff all at once? So it's not like it's happening in pockets, because the way that we're seeing it on the news, you know, as we were speaking last week when I spoke to you, when I asked you, the news keeps saying 35, 40 people dead. And I reflected back on the tragedy that happened in Haiti, not to compare them at all with the earthquake,
right.
when they were first saying, oh, there was only hundreds of bodies, but later on it became hundreds of thousands. And now we're hearing that the numbers are greater, and some are going toward 1,500, 2,500, including, you know, livestock, cats and dogs, and so on and so forth. But right now, as far as when you told me, Art, it looks like a war zone out here. What are we able to do on this side to help you all on the various islands? Because I don't think people understand that there are 900 Bahamian islands. 900.
Yeah, I mean, there are that much islands, but you have to understand that not all of the islands are inhabitable.
Exactly.
Most of those islands have no water structure, no infrastructure. There's no one living on those islands, so they're just keys out there that's with no one on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I would like the persons listening to understand that when we say we have 700 islands or whatever, how much 100 islands, there are not 700 inhabitable Bahamian islands. And it's probably, I don't even know how much it is, probably like 12, 13, 14 maybe. And about 2 years ago, one of the islands got you can't even live on the island because a hurricane destroyed that island. So there's about 3 or 4 people that actually stayed on the island because they didn't want to leave.
Wow.
So the same thing that happened to that island, that's Ragged Island, happened to Abaco and parts of Grand Bahama, Freeport.
Okay, now I have to ask you about this. Now, you could not get on one of the cruise lines because you did not have the proper documentation to do so. What are the procedures on the island, for example? Because there are still many people, am I right, that are still on the Freeport, in Freeport and Abaco, that are still trying to get out. Correct?
Yeah, but I'm going to say this. Let's see which day it was. I think it may have been the 7th. Don't quote me on this, but this is the day that the celebration came to Grand Bahama to take people.
Okay.
I did not feel that I wanted to leave Grand Bahama at this time, but I was trying to get my parents off. So we took them out there about 5:30 a.m. and there wasn't much people out there yet, and there was somebody out there taking names for persons that were trying to get onto the ship. So after they took the name, you know, my parents told me, say, okay, they should be good. We can leave them there. And it's like the next time I saw my parents, it was about the next day because they never got onto the ship. So they were out there from 5:30 a.m. and they got back to the house at 1 a.m. in the morning. So they were out there like for almost 24 hours.
So they stood in line
waiting. They never got onto the ship, the celebration.
And the celebration was the Bahamian line, the cruise line?
No, this is the American cruise line, I think. I think they call it the Bahamas celebration or the Grand Celebration.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, they come from West Palm Beach.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so they never got on that ship. Also, the next day there was no ship coming, so they left out the other day after the next day, and they left out on the Valeria. Now, on the Valeria, they actually, my brother was able to secure tickets online. He lives in Hollywood, Florida, and they were able to get on the Valeria. They had visas and everything. So I was also trying to get on the Valeria that day, but I didn't have a visa. I had a police certificate.
Okay.
And there was so much people.
Clarification, what is a police certificate?
This police certificate makes it known that you have not been convicted of any criminal activities. So it's a clean police record.
So that is something that people carry around?
Well, I mean, it's not something that you usually carry around, but the government was giving persons expedited criminal certificates just so they could travel.
Okay.
You know, so I was able to secure one, and I was trying to get onto the ship. I didn't have a ticket, but I was in the ticketing area, and after standing in there for about 5 hours, I asked one of the agents if, I pulled on his side and said, "Hey, are you guys going to be selling any more tickets?" So she said she doesn't think so. So I actually left. And the next thing I heard on the news was that they took everybody off of the ship that didn't have any visas.
Wow. And when they took you off the ship, did they give you any clothing, water, or food, anything? Or did they just remove you?
No, well, I wasn't on the ship because I left before the ship even boarded.
Okay.
But when they took the persons off, I don't think that they gave them anything. They just took them off.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So after...
I'm going to say this too. Just the Valeria comes to the Bahamas very often. And they do not treat Bahamians with any type of respect. They would take your money, and they would not treat you with it. I bought a ticket online. I called them. They told me I have to email to get a refund for this ticket that I bought, and I mean, I'm not even getting any response. I get a generated response. "Hi, this is the Valeria. Someone will be in touch with you as soon as possible," and that's it.
Wow. And these are certain things that we're hearing from many people, that the response hasn't been really what we see on the news. And shout out to the individuals that are working, the Haitian Nurses Association, the NAACP, Mr.
Yes.
Ruben Roberts, I know Mr. D.C. Clark, William D.C. Clark. Here at the station, we're doing things as well. There are many people in the community. Choritos doing things, Shy Will, DJ Ben Hop, and individuals here at the station are also gathering items and stuff like that. But when it is, well, who needs the help, or where should these things go? Because it's unimaginable that still things are happening like this. And we have a question from one of our contributors to the show and friend of the show, Edward Feldler, the money man. He asked, how is the banking system going on over there right now for those on the island? I guess that's...
I know for sure there's one bank open. My bank, I bank with a bank called Commonwealth Bank.
Yes.
They are open for business. I bank with them, that bank, and so I'm sure they're open. I know there's a Scotia Bank, they're not open. I'm not sure if a Royal Bank is open. I do not think the Bank of the Bahamas was open. I know these banks got flooded, so they probably would take more time to get up and running.
Now, I have a question about the hospitals, because I saw your friend on a post about the hospital where people were complaining that there wasn't any water at the hospital, and individuals were coming from their homes and bringing water to the hospitals.
I'm gonna say this about the hospitals. You know, Grand Bahama has one of the worst hospitals in the world. I'm gonna go on record and say that.
Wow.
All right, and I'm gonna say that because of this. You know, that hospital has been there for I don't know how many years, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, Freeport, Grand Bahama is run by a entity called the Grand Bahama Port Authority. They signed a contract with the British government
Yes.
back in 1955.
Yes.
Now, this entity, the Grand Bahama Port Authority, they were supposed to build a proper hospital for the residents of Freeport that live in Freeport, and they never did that. The hospital that is there was donated to them. That was originally a clinic. Now, I'm going to say this. During the storm, that hospital was flooded, and there's a lot of feces water that came back up the pipes, and there's a lot of people who died in that hospital because of that.
Wow. Incredible.
You know, they got a tent. They got a tent that they made up in the front of the hospital, and, you know, the U.S. chopper, anytime you see them land there, that means they bring in some bodies from where they found that were flooded. And they have the families sitting out there just to identify bodies and stuff like that. Yo, it's just like crazy, trust me.
And when you're seeing these organizations, I don't know if you're seeing the news and you're seeing these planes that are coming in and out, saying that they're helping and they're doing. Where are these goods going right now?
All right, I'm gonna give you an example of what I know. There's a few persons that would like to send me some items or whatever. I've checked on how to get the items to Grand Bahama Freeport, but everybody's telling me if persons send me something personally, it's going to go in the hands of NEMA. That's the National Emergency Management Agency, or whatever they call themselves. I mean, and there's so many people just complaining about not getting the help that they need. I mean, I don't want to bash the government, but I mean, they're the ones that are supposed to be orchestrating what's going on. I mean, you can't just disregard people, you know what I mean?
Now we have
if
another
persons
question.
need help, they need help.
We have another question from Edward Felder in reference to what we're talking about. He said, what are the best links or news sources to gather real updates, things on the ground, about things that are on the ground?
Boy, that is a very, very difficult question because, you know, on social media, you have a bunch of Bahamian sites or whatever, groups. And, you know, I mean, everybody is throwing around this information, and, I mean, you really can't even study that information too well, you know.
Right.
I mean, you have to pick out certain things that may sound proper, but there's a lot of misinformation going on. A lot.
And I'll say this for the record, because I know a lot of people will not say it. Be mindful of the organization that you give your funds to.
Yes.
Even the organizations that you give your goods to, because a lot of them are going and giving it to a set organization, said like Red Cross, and the Red Cross may just go to one area. I know for a fact that they did that in Haiti, and it didn't work very well. So be mindful of the organizations that you give these goods to and your funds to, and make sure if you can find out as much as you can find out of where your money is going, instead of just getting whatever guilt off your back and just, oh man, I'm just giving so I can feel like I did something. No, do something that actually matters.
Exactly.
Actually help the people on the ground, because it's not easy getting these funds in the right hands at all.
No, it's not. No, it's
At
not.
all. Now, next question would be, I'd like to shout out everybody that's checking in on the live stream on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube as well. But so when you were standing in line for the 7 hours, and now how do they get to the point of telling you that you can't get on a regular plane or a regular cruise ship, and you have to get on a barge to go 10 hours from Freeport to Nassau? Because listen, those that don't understand, it is a 30-minute flight from
Yes.
Freeport to Nassau. But
Yes, yes.
you had to stand in line 7.5 hours and then 10
Yeah.
hours on a barge, which that means that it was uncovered. Am I correct?
Well, no. This particular, they call it the mail boat, but it takes cars and containers and stuff like that.
Right.
They have an area. They have an area that people can sit. You purchase food, drinks, or whatever. And I made the decision to take this vessel because
Wait.
all of the other
They were selling food and drinks on the barge?
yeah, that's what they do.
They weren't giving food and drinks to the people.
No.
Incredible. Incredible.
If they had done that, I would have been very. I mean, the first day that they left, they actually took free passengers. But anything after that first day, it's back to regular payment time.
Wow.
And
so you had to pay to get on the barge?
Yes.
What?
I paid almost about $80, I guess.
80 American dollars to get on the barge.
Yes.
All right. This is not even sounding like a humanitarian mission. So the people that are stuck on the island without electricity, without a home, without food, without anything, have to pay to get on a boat, and then pay for the food and water on the boat, then to get to Nassau. What happens when you get to Nassau then? If you're someone that...
I guess if you don't have any family or whatever, you probably can go to one of those shelters that they made. But fortunate for me, I have family in Nassau that I can come to,
Wow. So the average person that had everything in Freeport, that lost everything, they can't even then get on the barge to actually get to Nassau, because
the thing that I saw, I bought my ticket for the mailboat barge ahead of time, like a day before.
Okay.
And when I got out there around 5:30 in the morning to get in line and try to get behind the gate or whatever, they didn't open up the gates until about 8 o'clock. So when they announced that, the grand celebration was not coming that day, and the Mariner of the Seas was out there, but they were going to Nassau.
Okay.
And when they announced that those two ships were not, the celebration was not coming, there was a lot of people that actually walked away because they were hoping to get on the celebration to come to the U.S.
Incredible.
And when we left Freeport on the mailboat, there was still a lot of people outside of the gate waiting to get on. So they didn't even get on the ship, the mailboat,
Incredible. So if you're on the island and you have lost everything that you've lost. But even before I even go there, so you get to Nassau, you have family there, so you're able to readjust and do what you have to do. But for the other individuals that don't have the family members or so on and so forth, what what are they doing for those individuals? What organizations do you know that are assisting individuals that need assistance in finding shelter, room and board, somewhere to take a bath, so on and so forth?
I would say this. There is an entity by the name of Island Luck. This is like a gambling facility or whatever. And these guys, they really stepped up to really help people getting out of Abaco. I mean, these guys took their own boats, they took their own planes, and they loaded up people, and they got them out of Abaco. Because Abaco is like crazy, and I mean, they actually were doing more than the government was doing. Because the government would send Bahamas Air, which is the national flag carrier of the Bahamas,
yes,
down to these islands for about 3 trips. How many 3 trips can carry? 3 trips can do nothing for these people. And they would set a time, okay, we'll be doing this for like 3-4 days. After that, they pay trips again. Anybody coming out, they got to pay.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Wow. So it was humanitarian for 2 or 3 days, and then right back to business.
When you look at the government, yes.
Wow. So the government officials that are sitting on the news saying what they're saying and doing what they're doing are really not as effective as the Bahamian people would think. Because I don't want to shed a light that we're just bashing. I just want to get a real likeness of actually what's going on and how we can actually help. But I actually want to get your story out, because it is actually something that people need to hear and understand. That's why we do the show, to actually talk about things that people don't talk about on regular platforms. But once again, I'll jump back to then on the island. Say if you're on the island for those 7 days, what is the next step for the individuals? It has to be worse than the hurricane that was there before 2005. You remember that hurricane that came right before there?
Yeah, there were two back in, I think, 2004 or 2005. But this particular hurricane, this is like no hurricane I've ever seen. I've been in hurricanes from 1979. Hurricane David, I can remember, was the first hurricane I ever been through.
Wow.
And I've been to many others after that. But this particular hurricane is like no other hurricane I've ever seen. I would say that.
Incredible. So the next step is the rebuilding and refocusing. As you said, it is war. It's like a war-torn war zone out there. So I remember the area, Grand Lucaya, right by is it the Sheridan on that street?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And across from the Sheridan was Port Lucaya. So that whole area out there is what right now?
I actually haven't been to that area, but I'm going to say this. That particular area is not even controlled by the government. The area of Freeport is controlled by a private company.
Yes.
It's a private company that controls Freeport.
Yes.
The government controls East and West Grand Bahama.
And I don't think a lot of people know that.
When we had the storm back in 2004, when it destroyed plenty businesses and homes in Freeport, that particular entity, the Port Authority, they did not even step up to say, happen. I think the government actually needs to revoke that contract that they signed in 1955 with this Port Authority so that something can be done to actually rebuild Freeport and Grand Bahama.
Yeah, I hear you there.
Not to cut you off, but I can't see the government giving this private company any of this money that's coming in to help repair something that they're supposed to have money to do. That's what they will sign the contract to do. And
they're insured to do it.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
A lot of the companies from back then didn't do, because we had to, Crispin Clare and myself, we had to do a lot of scouting for a gentleman named Renee McLean for the Mixed Show Power Summit. We did the concerts and stuff on the ground over there and the promotions and marketing. And I was amazed afterwards, because after the whole thing, we ended up giving a good amount of money to the Boys and Girls Club. But then they told me, well, you have to meet the family that owns the land, that owns owns Freeport. And I said, what? They said, yes, she's a relative of the Queen. So I had to go to the office down there with the organization. I forgot the name of the other Boys and Girls organization. The Rolls House or something like. No, you're a Roll. I'm sorry. But the organization, and there was this lady that was like, yes, my family owns the island, and blah blah blah.
What's that lady's name?
I don't know. My picture's inside the
big pink building. It's the big pink building.
Exactly.
It's the Port Authority building.
Exactly. Right there.
Yeah, they own at this time Freeport.
Yes.
That's the same contract that I'm telling you about from 1955.
It's incredible. Much like
they need to get paid.
Yeah.
That's why they tax everybody that comes in. That's why people are turned away from Freeport. That's why they don't want to invest in Freeport, because these guys.
Yeah, that's
I don't
why.
want to call them criminals. But
no, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
No, I don't want to do that. But it appears to be criminal.
It's criminal-like.
Yes.
Yeah. It has those vibes, but
yes.
Now, going through that, what is the get back, and not really get back at the system, but how do we fix where we are right now and over there? And I know there's a limited amount of stuff that we can do from over here, but once again, I'm thinking about the individuals who are still on the island, needing help. But then I'm also looking at, that means that Nassau is going to be rammed more than it was already.
Yes, overpopulated.
I don't think people know Nassau is only 21 by 7, right? 21 miles by 7. I mean, I remember back in the day, I used to drive around. My first time coming out there, I used to drive around and tell my cousin, okay, I want to see the rest of the island. He said, hey man, we done circled the island 3 times in the amount of time that we've been sitting in the car. I was like, for real? Like, yeah, when you go to one side of the rock and you see the beach, then you go to the other side of the rock, you see the beach.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. And, it's sad because one thing that's sad, there are many things. The destination for many Americans, and not just white America, black Americans, period, living in America, working for 20, 30, 40 years, they have it on their wall. They either want to go to Bahamas, or Jamaica. That's what they've worked all their lives for. That vacation, that super vacation, right? And right now, what we need is that same energy for that super vacation in assisting individuals that live on that island for what they're going through. And we talked about another touchy situation that I know people don't want to talk about, but I'm going to bring it up briefly because I've known you for over 25 years.
Yes, yes.
And Booga and I were talking about this the other day. And like, yeah, for a minute, right? Now, the things that are going on with the difference of nationalities on the island,
Right.
is something that's been going on for years. As a person that's born there, you come from there, what do you think that can be done right now to, you know, bring down a lot of the rhetoric that's going on? And, you know, there's a lot of videos going around with people saying things, but, you know, there are a lot of Haitians, Cubans, Jamaicans, undocumented out there, and they keep just saying Haitians, but there's Cubans catching it.
Right.
There's Jamaicans catching it as well. So there are equal opportunity, get out of my country vibes going on. But what is the best thing to do in the situation with those things that are going on with the differences of cultures?
You know, it's like this, right? I mean, everyone has been affected by.
Yeah. Okay, so looks like we're having some technical difficulties once again. This AVARAN we have on the line, and this is direct from Nassau Bahamas. We're talking with him from
everything went down.
Traveling all this time from Freeport to Nassau on his journey, because he was supposed to be in the U.S. For some work that we're doing, but yes, we have AVARAN back on. Yes. Hold on one second. So then Black, to have that pop up out here.
No,
You gotta turn on the volume. No.
the thing went down.
What?
Internet.
Really?
Yes.
So I'm just live on Facebook right now.
The internet in here went down.
Okay, so as we were saying, go ahead, AVARAN. You were talking about the difference.
Everyone has been affected. That's here, you know, and it's like it's up to everyone to just lend a helping hand to actually build back what was destroyed. I mean, it's no time right now to bash one set of people. I mean, I said it's Bahamian, I actually bashing Bahamian, so that's how bad it is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not just bashing one set of people. I mean, man, I'm gonna say this. I was in Jamaica one time, and I was speaking to this old guy. This guy was so old, he probably even passed away now, and he said that back in the day, when the slaves were being brought from Africa to this side, he was saying that the spiritual slaves were dropped off in Haiti.
Move your mic, move your mouth a little back from the mic.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, he was saying the spiritual slaves were dropped off in Haiti. The warrior slaves were dropped in Jamaica, and the house slaves were dropped off in the Bahamas. And it's like, that's something that I can relate to. It's like there's too much pettiness going on. You understand me?
Yeah.
Too much. I
Too
mean,
much.
like, everybody just needs to lend a hand and just build back better than what it was.
Exactly, and understand that we're all the same.
Yeah.
We're fighting against each other, not fighting against them. That's making us fight against each other. Like, it's crazy. It's a systematic thing, which, you know, we got to break the cycle, man. We got to break the cycle because it doesn't make any sense. I got my godchildren out there. You know, I got friends and family out there, and it's something that I never had to deal with directly myself, but I know is prevalent. But great. Now, I know we're trying to work out stuff to get you out here while we're working out these things, but tell us, for the individuals that don't know, tell us about the artist AVARAN. When did you start?
Artist AVARAN. Actually, I started doing music back in 1997, I would say, and I've had the opportunity to work with some great artists. I mean, I know you mentioned some. A person like Dennis Brown, Freddie McGregor, Michael Rose. I've been on tour with Michael Rose in Europe. I would say with that tour, I've toured with a Grammy-winning artist. Also, Luciano. I have a song coming out with Luciano very soon, duet. It probably would be easier to say the artist that I have not worked with than to say who I've worked with, because, I mean, it's been a long, long journey, and it's been an off and on journey, but, I mean, it's gratifying what I've been able to do, and I'm thankful for what I've been able to do in this music business.
Now, you said you have a song coming out with who? You just, like, said it like it was, like, that's a everyday artist. Like, come on, with who?
The Messenger.
The Messenger.
Luciano the Messenger.
Yo,
Yeah.
clearly, let everyone know, Luciano. Who are the individuals that you've worked with?
On stage or doing songs. Let me start like this. I've done background vocals for some of Dennis Brown's album. I've done duets with John Holt, Terry Ganzi, oh man, yeah, like I said, Luciano, Frankie Paul, Gregory Isaacs,
Dennis Brown.
Yeah, it's been so long I can't even remember right now. It's like crazy.
Yes, I go back with his brother. You remember the Studio 183 days?
Yeah.
Meditation Records. Humble Lion. On Point.
Yes. Those were the great days.
Those were the great days. I remember, you know, the Dennis Brown concert at Cameo, and then a couple of weeks later, he passed.
Right.
It was a couple.
That particular show had Gregory Isaacs,
Yep.
Freddie McGregor,
Yep.
Terry Ganzi,
Yep.
Michael Rose,
Yep.
Dennis Brown, myself, and some others. That was a very, very
Everton
big show.
Blender was on that show. Yeah.
Pastor,
That was a big show right there.
Yeah. It was a
Classic.
it was a great show, and then we were bouncing back and forth. So that Studio 183 show, I think that was with
Right. That was
Cableton?
Yami Bolo and
Yami Bolo and Cableton.
Yeah.
Great times, man. Great
And then
times.
remember the Luciano and Sizzler and Mikey
Yeah.
General. That was Cameo also.
That was
On the beach.
that was something as well. And I also remember the Burning Spear.
Yeah.
Burning Spear show was amazing. 'Cause I remember
And
that.
Lucky Dube.
Yeah.
Don't forget Lucky Dube.
Lucky Dube. Man, that brother is a lot of talent, and a lot of great times. Now, I call you a cultural activist, and I like to know, why is it so important that you push the culture forward in everything that you do as an artist?
You know, I actually can't live for myself if I'm not trying to educate someone in the right way, you know, because I try to live in the right way. And, I mean, I actually cannot see myself pushing something without actually doing something. Someone actually told me before, and I 100% agree. Don't give something to someone else that you wouldn't want for yourself. That's what I live by.
Say that one more time, please.
Yeah, do not give something to someone else that you wouldn't want for yourself.
So get that. Please don't send care packages with craziness in them, where people don't really understand what's going on.
Right.
With some of these care packages and certain things that they're doing.
I saw something on a news, a written news, that there was some eggs that were spoiling. I mean, who would send eggs in a time like this? Where are they going to put their eggs? Come on, man.
Exactly. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They sent, and that was a large amount of eggs.
Yes.
And I believe that those eggs were probably on their way to being spoiled or something, and they just said, "Oh, just send them all to them." But once again, it's a crazy thing to have sun, no refrigeration, and eggs.
Right. Exactly.
That's sickness.
Unless they're trying to hatch the eggs to bring some chickens or something. It's like crazy.
And something else. I was talking with my sister, and I asked her. I said, "Joanne, all this time that we've been traveling to Nassau, have you ever seen livestock when you were there?" And I had to think about it, and I was like, Even when I was in areas like Yellow Elder, I saw maybe chickens, but I never saw cows, horses.
No.
There's none of that on the island, right?
No, there's not any to speak about. You know what I mean? There's no livestock to really feed the Bahamas.
So that means that
we import everything.
You import everything. So that means that you're being hit, and it's harder for you all now than ever, because I remember a lot of Bahamians would leave on Thursday or Friday to come to here to shop. They go grocery shopping and come back home. And a lot of people don't understand. Bahamians don't want to be here. Bahamians want to be in their home. A countless amount of Bahamians, they want to come here and get their food and go back. Maybe spend one time at a concert or a party or something and go back home.
Right.
It's crazy, but it's even crazier that there's still nothing to sustain on the island, and you're having to buy everything.
Exactly.
Everything.
You gotta blame the government for that. I mean, there's actually too much.
Hello? Okay, we got the call dropped, and we were discussing what's going on in the Bahamas, and one of the biggest things is that there really is no cattle or anything like that on the island, and to actually sustain themselves, they have to actually either buy produce and food from the United States and then bring it back, or pay these exorbitant amounts of money for produce. How much is a box of cornflakes in the grocery store over there?
I would say like $11.
And that's 11 American dollars, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the average cost of milk there?
I'm happy that I don't drink milk, but milk is probably about $8 maybe.
And that's a gallon.
Yeah.
So how much would chips cost?
Chips are maybe about $6 maybe.
Yeah.
Like the big bags.
Yeah, I remember going to by the old zoo, and then from the zoo it was called something else, but that gas station right down the street from there.
Yeah.
Man, I remember going there for the first time, and I think I had $5 on. I pulled $5 out.
You gotta bring more than that.
for a drink, chips, and I think it was at that time backwoods, and I couldn't even get what I needed. Actually, they didn't even have.
One or two back.
Yeah, they didn't have the backwoods actually there at the time. They were looking at me like I was crazy. But how does that? I mean, what type of job do you need to have in the Bahamas to actually be able to do that and live that way?
I'm gonna say this: the persons that have a government job, they are very fortunate because they might have insurance. You know, they get paid once a month, whatever they have. You know, they maybe get paid well. Persons that I'm going to talk about Freeport. Persons that work probably in the shipyard or the container port, they get paid well also. So, but persons that maybe doing contract work or just, you know, don't have a real stable income, those are the ones that are going to be getting hit the worst, you know, because they're not making that money every day, or, you know, they're going to be getting hit the worst.
Wow. Oh, man. So, once again, I get back to this. Where do we go from here? How do we help?
Well,
What do we do?
you know, I respect the persons that actually come in their boat and bring stuff straight to the island. You know, I mean, the government might not like it, but it is what it is.
When you say people bring stuff straight from their boat, you're talking about people from Nassau to Freeport?
No, from U.S.
U.S.
Anyone from the U.S., yeah. There have been persons bringing stuff straight to the island.
Yeah. Yes.
They might take it from the U.S. to Bimini, and then from Bimini it can get here, you know, to Freeport.
Now, do you have any means of like, if someone wants to assist you in any which way, what is the best way for them to do that?
I would say, in order for me to get what I need, probably would be Bimini, where I know that I have family that can be there when it gets there and secure what's being sent.
All
Even
right.
if I don't get it right away, I know, hey, I can get it, you know?
Okay, so what you need to do is let us know so we can get the stuff directly there and work it out that way, where we know that I can actually get to actual people that need it instead of the good look, because a lot of people are doing these things for a good look right now.
Yeah, that is true.
I understand. You know, I never remember traveling to Freeport, Abaco, Andros, the Iguana spot. I never saw a bunch of cats and dogs walking and around. No. So when I see the news of 150, 110 dogs and cats that they put on a plane to bring here to South Florida, I'm wondering where did they find these dogs? And they were like, oh, a lot of them were in the Humane Society over there. Okay, yeah, I understand, but none of those dogs have IDs. None of them have visas. None of them have.
And you got to think about it like this: if they found 100 or whatever dogs, let's say 2 dogs per family. So that's about 50 families that's probably
stranded.
Don't have any more home or is no longer around. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that alone right there is probably where they got their figure for the 50 people that are possibly that lost their lives. I'm really, because the numbers, anyone with a thoughtful mind would not say that is where we're at right now. And just look around, because not only did I speak to you, I spoke to other individuals as well. And, you know, we have individuals that are going to need mental health counseling after this.
It's true. Yeah.
Because
yeah.
they are traumatized. And, you know, we've been going back and forth, but this is like, where do we go from here? Right now, we need to look at things like that for mental health for the individuals who are on the islands that went through it, whether it's Abaco and Freeport, and then the individuals that are going through the second part of trauma in Nassau. And then you have the family members that are still going through trauma over here because some individuals don't know where their family members are still now.
Exactly.
You know, and then you have rain yesterday that washed out, I hear, some more things and debris. So it is, there are things that are going to resurface in a couple of years, months, days, of things from the kids to the older, elderly, the elders that are going through. It's, man, though we just don't need cooks and chefs out on the ground. We need nurses. We need mental health experts. We need individuals that can speak to children as well as adults to help them cope through what they're going through, because many are seeing this for the first time.
And it's like, I mean, I'm gonna say this, it's like the government does not understand what's actually needed, what's really needed, you know?
And why do you think that is? I mean, they're on the ground, but I guess because they're living in higher ground, they don't really.
Most of these government people, they don't even live in Freeport or Abaco. They live in Nassau. You know, most of them.
Wow.
So it's a disconnect. That's what it is.
And
it's a disconnect.
And usually the disconnect is because of the ownership clause on Freeport. So there's a little leeway that people can get away with on Freeport unless you're connected, which I learned. Unless you know the correct people, nothing's going to happen. Doesn't matter if you have all the money in the world. It's not going to happen. Now, as we're talking about mental health and so on and so forth, like things like that, did you see any of those type of individuals on the ground that were helping people? Because we saw people like Channel 10 and individuals coming in and out, speaking to people, putting a mic in their face, like, oh, how are you feeling? How do you think I'm feeling? I haven't eaten, taken a bath in 6 or 7 days. I don't know what I'm doing, but you're asking me how I'm doing, just like I did to you, which is crazy.
I haven't seen any news people, but I have seen the U.S. Coast Guard helicopters, the planes flying over every day. But I haven't seen any like news people or anything like that.
Wow.
In my areas that I've been in.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So things. Another thing about on the ground. So, what is the vibe on the ground now?
Well, I'm not in Grand Bahama at this time, so.
No, I'm talking about in Nassau.
Well, I mean, Nassau is a place where the traffic is always thick, so I don't try to move around a lot. So I don't actually know what the vibe is. I know there's a lot of people that came over from Abaco and Grand Bahama, because on one boat there was 700 people that came over from Grand Bahama, and I know there was more than that came over from Abaco. So, I mean, this place right here, this little island, is going to be overly packed than it already is. And I don't know where all of these people are going to go. I don't know where they're going to be working. I don't know what's going to happen. And this little island is already crazy as it is, so it's going to get even more crazier.
Yeah, for those of you that have never traveled to Bahamas, just know that on Sunday, everything is closed. So right now, it's the calm before the storm. Everything is closed. Don't try to get any liquor. Don't try to nothing. It's closed the whole day, my friend.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Being that the island is so very religious, even to the
Right.
point that religion is so big that if you curse on stage, you automatically get arrested. It shut down your show, all types of things.
Yeah.
Being that it's such a religious island, what are the churches and the religious organizations doing to assist?
Well, I've seen that the churches, they're basically spots that you can go to get food and things like that. And I don't know if they're counseling anybody. I don't know if what else they're doing. But I know in Freeport, the church spots were places that you can go get a hot meal, or you get something to drink, whatever. But that's basically it. That's from my knowledge. And I'm not saying that they may not be doing something more than that, but from my knowledge, I know that you can go get something to eat, something to drink, whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
And how about the youth out there, the young kids? Before you left Freeport, how did you see the youth and how they were coping, and were they smart?
There's a sense of like that lost look in their eyes.
Right.
Because like I said, this storm is like something that's never. They're gonna remember this storm forever. And it's to a point that, I mean, you're so young, but you lost everything. People look up to their parents, and if your parents or your parents are lost, I mean, the kids automatically follow suit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the kids are looking at their parents and their grandmas and grandpas,
Right.
and they're like, the elders look shocked and don't know what's
Right.
going on. So the kids are like, oh man, this
Right.
is something different. So this is going to be Hurricane Dorian for many on the island. Is going to be what Andrew was for a lot of
Right.
individuals
Yeah.
that were in South
Yeah.
Florida. That they will never be able to forget
Never
this
forget.
situation, because it
Right.
actually devastated. And just to think what could have happened. A lot of times people do this, revisionist thinking. Miami, South Florida got spared. I'll tell you that.
Right.
Because it would have been very, very bad. Very bad. The strength and the size and the amount of time that it stayed above those islands and the islands. I commend you, my brother, for everything that you're doing and staying positive and fighting through it and not giving up, and knowing that there's going to be a positive outlook some way, somehow. Because once again, to spend 7 days after a storm on the island with no electricity, correct?
Yeah.
You had no electricity.
In parts of the Freeport, they are restoring power in parts. Those are the parts that were not flooded.
Okay. But all the other parts are still no electricity, no running water.
And there are certain parts that the water is coming back on, but they're saying that this water, don't even brush your teeth with it, just to flush the toilet.
So basically, it's inhabitable right now in majority parts of Freeport.
Yes, definitely.
So if you have family, friends, individuals out there, we are still collecting items here at the station. You can either call any of the radio hosts. You can call 305-749-6004, whatever it may be, and we will give you the information to where you want to bring your things to the station, or a drop-off spot, or a pickup spot, and we will help and accommodate the individuals over there directly, much like what you do with your social media now. You're able to hit people directly to know exactly what they need and want, to buy and sell T-shirts or whatever you're selling. So use social media right now to help individuals that need your help 100%. These are not nonprofit organizations. These are human beings who are living on an island right now who really depend on most of the goods that are everywhere else except for on that island. I think the only thing that they could get off that island that they produce is conch.
Yeah, and fish, hey?
Conch and fish. And that's not, I know we're making light of it, but when we think about the resources, they keep us dependent on certain things to keep them rich.
Right.
I'm sorry, not rich,
Like I
wealthy.
said, yeah, like I said before, the Bahamas is an import country.
100%.
Yes.
And everything is marked up close to 200%, at least 200%.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
Once again, box of cornflakes, $11. You want some chips, $5 to $6. And people, these are the chips that you would buy for $1 or 50 cents here. They're probably $2 or $3 there.
Right.
A candy bar.
The big bags are being 99 cents over there. Remember that, the big bag.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, you gotta spend $5, $6.
Yeah. So it's not an average, easy thing. So remember, we're reaching out to help individuals, not corporations, because help is needed. And if we have any attorneys out there, we are in need of help of attorneys because they are being hit over the head. Tell us this also. There's gouging going on for attorney fees over there. What are some of the prices for the attorney fees if you want to get a visa, for example?
Actually, I could not speak to that.
Okay.
I do not know. Yeah.
All right.
I haven't been able to check on that. After I was denied entry, I tried to get on JetBlue with my police certificate, and I was denied. There was a lot of people denied that day. I guess because it was September 11th, they felt that they wanted to deny everyone.
Right.
So, I mean, a person like me, I've had an F1 student visa.
Right.
I've had a B1, B2, that's a tourist and
Traveling.
visa.
Yes.
Yeah, I've had an A1 diplomatic visa I used to travel on.
Yes.
And, it's like crazy what they do. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna be trying to work that out for you, my brother, because we need to get that project done.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get you here in time for the carnival season that's coming up. Do those shows and do what you do. But I'd like to thank you for taking the time to share with us.
You had me. Yes.
Yes. Knowing the type of person you are, and yo, shout out to your brother too, man.
Yes, I think he's listening. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, man. He finally left FIU. I don't usually cheer people for leaving FIU because I love FIU, but you know, that spot where he was at, that was my last spot, and
okay.
them not like us.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're progressive, there's certain places people don't want to see you, you know, unless you're going to follow that line.
Right. It's true.
You know, but he's gonna do great things going on. Like to shout out Oliver Brooks, Ann Lee, Marie Anderson, Jocelyn Nicolo, Leon, Lou, Mary Theodore, Michael Lidke, Edward Felder, Brian Folson, Eddie Champagne. I'm going through everybody that made a comment. Teresa, Mario, everybody that joined in today. Shout out to my great friend Aaron, MS Warrior Queen out there. We're a beautiful family. Glam. I can't say the whole thing, but yes, Glamour. That's what I'm saying, Glamour. So shout out to everybody joining in. So once again, if you're going to be able to be out there to assist individuals, make sure you know the organizations that you are sending your money or your goods to. For those in Freeport and Abaco. And once again, thank you very much, AVARAN. Hope you have a great day.
You too.
And we will be speaking to you shortly. Blessings, peace.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much.
Peace and love, man.
Peace, bless.
Yes, and we are back on our, thing here. And gonna be playing a couple of records for you guys, going into a couple of things. If you'd like to let us know what you're thinking about, give us a call, 305-749-6004, 305-749-6004. Shout out to Hilaire Charles, Book of the Governor, Justice, my cousin Sean, shout out to Slug, shout out to Chorito, shout out to Zarifa, shout out to Mr. Flint, shout out to Shy Will, shout out to Lucy, shout out to the clergy, shout out to Exclusive, shout out to Kwame, shout out to Frazzle, shout out to Young Sloth Lord, shout out to Lola the Bunny, shout out to Irvance, shout out to, wow, man. Shout out to Bonita. Shout out to Lextra. Shout out to my brother Sean Penn that just celebrated his birthday 2 days ago. Shout out to Ralph. Shout out to Tiffany. Shout out to Evie. Shout out to Chloe, my niece. Shout out to Tony Mancino. Shout out to Aspik in Australia. Shout out to Muriel. Shout out to Miami's Finest, a.k.a. Brandon. Shout out to Pablo the Traveler, a.k.a. that's my classmate from back in the day, Paul. Shout out to, man, listen, there's too many people. I'm not able to go through it. Shout out to Kat. I am Kat. Kat I am. Shout out to Tosh. Shout out to Barbara Stevens. Shout out to All Very Goods. Amma. Shout out to Nikki. Shout out to Grinding for Success. Shout out to ETA. Shout out to Eric Thomas. Shout out to Cool and Dre. Shout out to Masika. Shout out to Mama Ross. Last King 1804. My cousin. Shout out to the Stress Gods. Yeah. Look out for that organization. Stress411.org is a organization for stress, to combat stress. Shout out to Professor Lafontaine, my cousin Kitya Lafontaine. Shout out to Renita Haïtien, that is Joanne Nicolo. Shout out to all those individuals that are checking in. Shout out to Mr. Edward Shepard, that has his organization BISEC, who is bringing over kids from Ghana and doing a student exchange with kids at Central. They're here this week doing their student exchange. Please support his organization. He has a show on this station called The Final Say. His name is Edward Shepard. Great guy, doing great things in the community. Hey, get involved. Shout out to all those individuals once again who are doing things in the community as well. But I'm gonna wonder if I should do this.
Get involved.
There's this song I'm going to share with you guys. The name of the song is Over. Produced by a couple of friends, and I'd like to get your thought on these individual songs and so on and so forth. But
Thought on.
excuse me?
You said thought on.
Thought on. Oh, I don't know.
Thoughts on.
Thoughts on.
There you
Anyway, don't mind what the individual here is thinking with his mind. I don't know what's going on. But this is a young man, and it's off of the subject of what we usually play. But this young man is about to do great things. And this is not our typical song, but the name of the song is Pull Up. Probably gonna play it and pull it up for it. Produced by Greatest Things Since Sliced Bread. That's the Exclusives, the Clergy, and a young producer named Hero. Pull Up featuring Highland Star. Yes, and that is me pulling up on the song. That's right. That is Pull Up by Highland Star. Once again, I'm letting you know it's about to be a problem. It's about to be a problem.
You got 5 more minutes.
Yes. So, I got one more I'm going to play for you here. And this one is called Over. You're Welcome. And this is another one produced by Best Thing Since Sliced Bread. We're just out here working. I guess that's what people do, right? They work. So, let us work. This is Over, featuring Courtney and Cash. Nash.
You gonna pull up on this one too?
No problem, Chorito.
What happened? She's not coming in?
Turn this up, dog.
She's not coming in?
Let me know if you like the song. Courtney and Nash. Real R&B, no rap.
You got somebody calling in?
Yes, caller. Can I help you? Let us know who you're calling, where you're calling from, your name. Who are you?
This is Daddy Soul, and I'm celebrating the birthday of Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes.
Florida.
Once again, it is Hispanic Heritage Month, and we have Queen Chorito on the line. How you doing, dear?
I'm good. Even though Hispanic Heritage Month is from September the 15th to to October 16th. I am Hispanic 365 days, a Black Hispanic, Afro-Latino, whatever you want to call it. I celebrate every day, but this is the first day, and I also want everyone to remember 4 little girls. If you could hashtag 4 little girls. Today, Joe Biden gave a exhilarating speech at the church regarding the history, and today commemorates the memory of the bombing in Birmingham, Alabama. So if those of you can just go back on YouTube and watch it. I know a lot of people are talking about Joe Biden, that he could possibly not get the seat. He will not be a good candidate for the presidency because of the new millennials. But we have to really talk about this. And AP, we're probably going to have our live. I talked to many people about coming into a live broadcast for us to talk about this political election. So we're going to do this live, and we're going to get more individuals involved in election 2020 because everybody doesn't know the seriousness of this election, and some people do know the seriousness of it. So we have to be proactive. We've been behind the scenes working. Exciting radio station. We're really going to put it down this year for 2020's election. So I hope everybody stays tuned and keep it locked in and stay always listening to Exciting Radio Station.
That's our queen, Queen Charito. And conversation with Charito is coming up next. And you don't want to miss it. But what you do want to miss today is the spanking that we're probably going to get. But I will be watching.
No, don't say that. No,
Don't say that.
Listen,
It's obvious.
I want our hometown boy to spank us. I want him I hope he go crazy today.
It's obvious.
Well, I know you don't feel the same way, but
it is what it is. But shout out to everyone, and also tomorrow I'll be taking 10 students to a shopping spree with Jason Taylor Foundation. They're going to get $300 shopping spree. We're going to shut the store down. Shout out to Jason Taylor Foundation, Seth Levitt, Sean Todd, and all of their crew for doing the great work that they do to get individuals to donate to the foundation for our students that are really needy for school uniforms.
and I'll put Charito up to any vice president of programming in any other organization out here in South Florida, doggone near Florida southeast of the United States. Don't play with it. Listen, I hear individuals talking all their junk about I'm programming assistant and what you do? Oh, we've been giving out bags for the past 10 years. Nothing else? No bags. We gave them crayons this year with the bags. I'm sorry.
You being messy.
Okay, I'm not being messy. Hey.
But I love it. I love it. It's the truth. A lot of people, and I say this all the time, these nonprofit organizations, if you think that just by putting up a couple of posts with photos of you giving out food for the Bahamas, canned goods, or you're just giving out backpacks, what about the education initiative? What about the parents? What about parental involvement? What about assisting parents with parent choice, vouchers, private versus charter versus public? This is the, you know what, don't get me started.
Yes.
Yes!
Yes!
But next week I'm bringing the noise. I got a couple of surprise guests on the show next week. I had to reschedule. But I'm going to be talking about everything next week in this No Holds Barred. I'm not holding my tongue. I'm going to have Joanne Chocolate Ray. She was the first black DJ for 99 Jams in South Florida. She's going to be on my show tomorrow. Next Sunday, correction. She's going to be bringing us some updates about what she has on her mind. And I'm just going to celebrate her for being the first.
That's what's up. I'm there. So those of you that heard it, need to check out Conversation with Charito next week. We're gonna wrap up, get ready to get out of here. Love you, my dear.
Much love.
We're gonna take care of your show. All right, my dear. All right.
By the way, don't
yes.
forget I'm celebrating 4 years on the 20th. I'm just gonna do pictures and posts, so it'll be 4 years with Conversation Charito on the 20th.
Got you. We're celebrating with you. Celebrate greatness. Celebrate our queen. Yes. And just before we bounce, I'm going to play this record. Once again, name of the record is Over. Name of the record is Over. Let me know what you think. If you like the record, it's an original record. We're trying to bring R&B back with no rap. Because R&B is R&B, rap is rap. So it should be in 2 different categories like it originally was. So, yes, this name of the song is Over. featuring Courtney and Nash, straight from Atlanta. One last time, turn it up, please.
We're gonna be the best places sliced.
Hey stranger, I just wanna know how you've been since we ended. It seems like yesterday we were in this crazy thing that we would call love. At least that's what we thought it was. Hey darling, I hope you know there ain't no ill feelings.
How you doing, Sogra?
'Cause I know that people
Natalie, how you doing? Garrett, Mr. Baldwin, English, how you doing, sir? AVARAN, this is Courtney and Nash. We working. Name of the song is Over.
It's crazy. I just asked someone the other day how you doing. Then you called, and I know when we ended, I kept to myself. I ain't got no
Follow them.
at all. Wish I can go back and take away what I did to you, and every lie that I told to you, a different side I would show to you. Instead of flexing all out like we relationship goals, I should have took the time to grow with you, but it was for the best. All love was a test. We had to
And I had a 20-something-year-old ask me, where's this beat from? I'm like, what beat?
Oh, for this?
Yeah. They were like, that's the big guy's song, right? How you doing, Jen? Love you, dear. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the kids.
I'm killing you because I gotta play your outro.
I'll talk while you're playing. It's over. Once again, name of the song is Over. Let me know if you like it. Ooh. Yes, this is AP Strong. We're signing out. See you next week. Appreciation and Praise Show. Follow us on all the different platforms. Check our YouTube channel out. Next week.